Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another showing of the Midnight Broadcast Network on YouTube. My name is SlayJade4, and today we have the Pennsylvania 250 at the Pocono Raceway here on the Midnight Broadcasting Network. And as always, I am alongside of Jay Hyper and Jay. 250 miles here at the Pocono Raceway should be a good show. It's race 13 of the season. What should we expect tonight?
Some people, well, first off, some people are going to be in urgent mode, knowing that they need to get points, knowing to try to at least make the playoffs. I know some people are right on that bubble, and it's going to be a good race tonight. Hopefully, a lot of green flag laps, and just looking forward to the race tonight.
Yeah, normally at Pocono, besides field, we do have a 9-card field tonight with a newcomer. We'll get to that here shortly, but we'll have a 9-car field tonight. Not many people as usual. Right now, this does help the point bubble because Diesel Rothgeb, it was 9th in the standings. It's pretty much going to get into 8th tonight with just no worries. He can start the race, start and park, and he'll be 9th in the standings. As Trey is not racing tonight, who was 8th and had a playoff spot, decided not to race tonight here at Pocono. But you said green flag laps, Jay, and that is something here at Pocono that you will most likely see unless there is a lot of people who are struggling with turn 2, which will most likely be the cause of a caution. I do not see many issues happening in turn 3, if any. Turn 1, possibly, carrying so much speed from that front stretch could bring an issue, but turn 2 is going to be the trouble turn for tonight. And as you see on your screen, 17 Ricky Stenhouse. Obviously, you know who it is, Fluffy. That's his number in the Cup Series, custom car number 16 in the Marine Imports National Series. On your pole again with a 53.039, and that outruns the second place qualifier, Deadpool, by almost 3/10. Deadpool qualifies second with a 53.320 for Deadpool, and that's your front row. But Jay, I mean, not many cars tonight. What's your caution? What do you think you're going to have cautions tonight? How many are you thinking?
Without the stages, I feel like there's going to be at least 3.
At least 3, so you're saying, so 3 regular cautions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Pocono, we have not very many cars. If they get spread out, it's going to be no cautions, but I will agree if we get on restarts and there's going to be some mishaps in turn 2, depending on how conservative guys are, I think that will cause some problems. I'm gonna go two cautions, one under you for tonight's showing. But we're gonna start in order here because we're about to get invites shortly. And with that, your starting order for the Pennsylvania 250 at Pocono. We have, as we said, front row on pole once again Fluffy in the number 16 for Roush Fenway, and outside of him is the 21 of Deadpool. Row 2 brings the number 9 from the back, who is in the top 8. He's looking good for the playoffs. And rounding out the top 4 is Voltage in the number 20, who is 3rd in the standings. Row 3 brings I'm Goofy in the number 1, and Jerem Keffer in the number 7. Row 4 brings the number 22 of Diesel Rothgeb, and the number 90 of Rough Raven, who was a newcomer last week. First race was last week. And starting 9th is the newcomer BBS Brennan, who ran over at the On a Mission Racing League, still runs there, has now started our National Series. And we're looking to be making 2 starts, which is today at Pocono, and then I believe Darlington next week. Those will be his 2 starts. And the invites are out, and while we are loading into the lobby, sorry for the blue screen, ladies and gentlemen, while we are loading into the lobby, we'll be going over our picks for the race. So Jay, we got the order going. Very large spread between not only pole sitter in 2nd, but pole sitter in 9th. Who are your picks today? Who is your pick to win? Who is your sleeper?
My pick to win tonight is definitely going to have to be from the back in the 9. Qualified 3rd. I think that is his best qualifying effort of the season. I think he's got something to show tonight. So hopefully he'll be up there at the end. And then for the sleeper pick, I'm gonna have to go with Goofy. Qualified 5th in the one car. One car always looks nice on the track, so I'm really hoping he gets like a top 5 in this race.
You heard from Jay, last year's National Series champion. He picks from the back to win the race, and I'm Goofy to be a sleeper. And those are two JRM cars. Two very nice picks. And my picks, I'm going to go with Fluffy in the 16, kind of an easy, secure, safe pick for any situation. My sleeper, I'm going to go with the Goofy as well, qualified 5th. There's not really many sleepers because you have four full-time Cup drivers in here. So it's very hard to pick sleepers, but I'm going to go with Goofy as well. Seems to be get more consistent as the weeks go. As for right now, we're going to your paint scheme preview as a little rundown. Fluffy in his NASCAR Heat Pro League number 16 Ford Mustang. P1. From the back in P3 goes with the Switch Chevy Camaro here tonight. 5th place, Goofy goes with the black, red, and white number 1 for JRM tonight. JRM Keffer proudly sporting the Filter Time colors on that number 7. Diesel Rothgeb pilots the PPG Ford Mustang tonight. Rough Raven sporting a pink and purple Ford Mustang tonight, at number 90. And newcomer BBS Brandon in the 07. It'll be the first time this season the 07 car has been on track. So as they round turn 3. What turn 4? That is correct. Only 3 turns at the Pocono Raceway. And as they now enter the front stretch in the restart zone, green flag. We are underway at Pocono.
Underway at Pocono. All these cars are gonna stay in line. I thought they'd spread out a little more on the initial start, but looks like Fluffy's gonna get the lead from the back. He's gonna get into second, and we already have some double file, but mainly single file. We got a little battle for third, looks like, about to come on. As the 20 is getting a run on the 21 to the outside of Deadpool. Voltage goes, trying to get that draft off the 9, going into turn 2.
Looks like Deadpool. Oh, Fluffy. Sorry, as you can tell, I've not ran Pocono Xfinity or Pocono on this game a lot. So it's surprising to see him go that low. Do you go that low, Jay? Almost near the grass when you run turn 2?
Honestly, I've never ran a car here, I don't think. So.
No, because I haven't either. I started practicing some today for Cup, and that was about it. But Fluffy getting out to a commanding lead in just 1 lap. Voltage now goes to P2 from the back. P3 Keffer started 6th. He is now up to P4 and back to P5 Deadpool after starting front row.
Nice wide arc into the turn for the top 2. Looks like the 9 of Will from the back is running a lower line in the corner, and he's not getting the run off. Maybe that's something to adjust for. It seems like those cars are just rotating better on the corner, and with a little bit more banking, they're getting a little bit more speed coming out of 1 down to turn 2.
Oh, the 21 hard to the outside wall, coming off turn 2. I thought he was just going, a lot faster than 2 cars in front of him, but apparently he was going way too fast for anything. And he stays P5, loses a couple tenths, and now is getting peeked under by the 22 of Diesel Rothgeb.
He's just looking low, but it does not have the run for the spot. This is P5 right now, battle for 5th. Could be happening.
Yep,
going to turn 1.
Front 2 pretty spread out. You got the 21's going to push up the track again. Into the outside wall goes Deadpool. The 20's going to take position, and now he has to deal with the 1 car of Goofy.
21 falling back hard, qualified 2nd, and it just seems like in the draft this car's not turning as he's right there. Turns a little bit more.
Yep, that was a nice turn for him. Gets a good run.
That's the line in turn 2 is the apron.
Yeah, I was surprised the first time I saw it because, I think I ran a couple of laps, like I said, and I was flirting with it because it didn't really hurt the car, but I didn't know that would be the preferred line to see people running, but look, it's working out. The 21 getting a good bit of time on the 22 there, and it seems like the preferred line for the 16 of Fluffy. Let's see, so we have right now on lap 5, 8 laps to go in the stage. Fluffy pushed up a little bit. It's going like the 20 of Voltage get to his bumper. We have a potential battle for the lead.
Voltage has caught Fluffy, and with about 7 laps to go, well, they're gonna be coming to 7 laps to go. Voltage has caught him, and Fluffy is running that apron as Voltage isn't. It seems like it helps Fluffy on the entry, but the exit, it looks like Voltage is getting the upper hand as he gets a run on him.
Yeah, Fluffy his car just turns in so well. That number 16 NASCAR Heat Pro League Ford Mustang looks like it turns in so well compared to Voltage. Voltage, though, he does get the run off the corners and potentially make a run to the inside. And he does. 20 of Voltage to the inside of Fluffy. Battle for P1 with 7 to go.
Battle for P1 as they go into turn 1. The battle for third is on as well. If you can see behind them, there's a 4-car stack up for third. But as right now, side by side, going into turn 2, Voltage is going to have the preferred line, but will he take the apron?
He does not, but Fluffy's going to use the apron for a little crossover here coming down turn 2.
Takes the apron, but here we go, going into turn 3. See, Voltage is just, he's there, and is he gonna hold it? I think Fluffy's gonna get him. Clear him. No, he does not. Oh, Voltage missed the wall a little bit. Now Fluffy will clear him. 6 to go, halfway in the stage.
6 to go. Fluffy was able to lead that lap. Voltage was able to lead a lap. So we have right now 5 laps led for Fluffy and 1 for Voltage, including the pace lap. But these two have spread themselves out from the rest of the field. As we just had a disconnect, if you saw it in the screen, it was the 21 of Deadpool. After starting P2 and running, I believe he was in the 5th or 6th position at the time, he has a disconnect, and he will finish 9th today. Oh, one car in the grass. Fluffy.
Fluffy.
In the grass. He's going to lose a lot of time. He'll go from 1st to 4th, following it behind the Junior Motorsports cars of Jason Keffer and from the back.
I'll tell you right now what happened. He went into turn 2. They were side by side. He lifted off for Voltage to get in to go in first, and he went down and he hit the grass instead of being right on the apron, and he got loose in the grass. Tried doing the crossover again, and corrected a little bit too much.
So risk versus reward seems to be the entrance of turn 2. And obviously it was rewarding him for the first 5 laps, first 6 laps, but that last one bit him, as he will make the pass on both those Junior Motorsports cars, go from 4th to 2nd here, and even though he has enough playoff points in the season, leading the entire series by way too many, he is now up to P2 and searching for the 20 again.
He's gonna go after the 20, but will he have enough time to catch him? As we've seen at the beginning of the stage, it was the 20 who caught Fluffy. But can the rules reverse and Fluffy catch the 20 of Voltage with 4 to go?
He has some draft help from the 7 and the 9, so it looks like he'll get some help there. If the 2 can stick on the 16's bumper, they can all pull themselves to the 20 and make it a 4-car battle for the stage win. And I don't think anybody would want this playoff point more, and these points more than that number 9 from the back, as he rides in P4.
Rides in P4 as there's a 3-car train, fourth car kind of in the wind there behind him a little bit. He's definitely getting the draft off him, but will he help them out? I'm not too sure as the 7 goes wide in the turn.
Yep, now I got a battle for 3rd between the 7 of Jaron Keffer and the 9 from the back. And looks like Will and the number 9 will let him go, and with that, it's going to let the number 1, the other Junior Motorsports teammate of I'm Goofy, he's going to get in here. Oh, to the bumper of the 9. The 9's out of shape, and the 9 kicks it off the inside wall. Finally nicked it there, and he will fall back to the 5th position. Not 100% sure what happened there, if the 9 was already somewhat out of control and just lost it there, or what, but he was able to almost keep it off the inside wall. And he will fall back to the 5th position. Oh, we got cars around. 22 and the 1. That is Diesel Rothgeb and Goofy, the 07 and the 90 are all involved. And that is a caution. First one of the day.
End the stage.
And that is going to end the stage. Voltage wins the stage 1 in the number 20. Fluffy will bring home second. Jerem Keffer third from the back, and number 9 is fourth. And Diesel Rothgeb brings it home fifth. I believe Goofy got the apron because if you saw on our camera there, he was already on the apron in turn 1. And I'm pretty sure he lost control by doing that and got the 22 involved. But the 22 was able to get the 5th place position with the spin. I almost thought the 07 was going to get it. Brennan was going to get his first stage points in his first start. But was not meant to be.
Now, if this was real NASCAR, yeah, he would have gotten the spot. But with the caution coming out, if their positions stay where they were, and looks like the 20 going to lead them to the green. 7 got a good pit stop.
Yep, after pit stops there, the 20, of course, they're fanning out, which is what you somewhat expect. Oh, to the bottom goes the 20, the 16, and the 9. And down into turn 1 they go.
Down into turn 1, 20 voltage heads into turn 1, going into turn 2 here. We're going towards turn 2. Got the 7 in second and the 16 Fluffy in third. Right now, they do not want this 20 to get out ahead because, as we've seen, when he got to the lead, no one could catch him in those few laps that they had an opportunity to.
Those pit stops, Jerem Keffer's, he was able to gain a spot and move himself to second, and that is what has propelled himself to second now. As Fluffy as he lost spot to third, he is now third. So pit stops seem pretty key as the 7 of Keffer making his way, trying to make way to the lead, but the 16 of Fluffy is going to push voltage, try to put himself in P2.
Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but Fluffy had a run on both of them, and if there was a gap there between them, he would have sent it 3 wide for the lead. But there, he was just blocked in, and he is running second. And he may get a chance at the lead here off of turn 1. He has a little bit of speed that 20 is going to hold him off right now.
Single file, 5-6 car breakaway, 20, 16, 7, 22, 9, and 90. Rough Raven in the 90 to P6. Into this main pack, trying to get his first top 5 of the season in his second start. As the 07 of Brennan and the 1 of Goofy are the only 2 off the pace, and there goes the 16 to the lead.
16 to the lead. Didn't take him long, but can he hold on to it? The 20 is going to get a run back underneath him. But who are the 7 and the 22 there? Yeah, 7 and the 22. Who are they going to go with? But, I mean, looks like they're going to stay to the outside. But going into turn 1, 7. I thought he was going to make it 3 wide there for a second.
Right. Looks like this 7 got in there really good and just they were side by side, reduced their speeds. But the 7 of Keffer got a great run, had to back out of it, and he's now looking to push Fluffy to the lead or make it neutral, and he can make a move here. Oh, little contact to the 20, and that almost put the 16 in the wall, and they're 3 wide as the 22 out of shape, and he saves it and falls back into 5th.
3 wide going into turn 3. The 7 was on the bottom takes the lead, coming to 9 to go in the stage, finishing lap 3. This is going to be a good battle for the finish. 7 leading the first laps of the race for himself. And now 20 and the 16 are back in line, but don't forget that 22. He was there with them, got a little squirrely off of 2, but he's already working his way back up into 4th.
It was weird. So it looked like on our screens that the 7 gave a bump to the 20 and sent him into the 16, barely, but from the 7's replay there was no contact, and he hit the brake right before making contact with him. So little screen code error there. Gave the 20 a little bump. And we have 1 car around in the back, and that's the 90 of Rough Raven, who was finally getting up there into the main pack. And he loses off of turn 2, and he will fall back to the 8th position. No caution for a single car spin. But Jerem Keffer in the filter time number 7, still leading.
Man, that was a big hit for him too, head on into the inside wall. But it's a virtual video game, so no harm really there other than positions that he's losing, time he's losing. But right now, we'll see the battle for the lead. It looks like the 20 is going to go to the inside. Knowing that he got hit by the 7, maybe the 7 didn't mean to, didn't even do it on his end, but he knows he got hit, and I think he'll do the same thing, the 7, if he wants to lead back.
Everybody here. Oh, the 7 nicks the outside wall. And Fluffy, it looked like there was a lane there to go 3 wide, but he thinks otherwise, and the 20 of Voltage will take the lead. The 20 back up front.
20 back up front as we have 7 to go this time by in the stage. He's going down low to defend the low line, not trying to get the draft, but the 7 with the run, with a 3-car push. He's going to go to the outside, enter turn 1 on the outside. Can he get ahead of him though? He was clear, but he could not hold it. A little bit too much speed going in there.
Oh, 7 loose. Loose off of turn 1. They're 3 wide now. For the second position, Fluffy clears them for second. Now battle for third, still there. And Keffer backs out of it. So Diesel Rothgeb to third. Keffer back to fourth. Fluffy really wants to chase in that 20, even though Fluffy almost has a regular season championship locked up. Has he has a lot of playoff points. But still wants to win as much as he can. And for guys like Voltage, Diesel, especially Diesel and Keffer, playoff points mean so much to them, so they're going to do anything they can to get it.
Right now, Fluffy would have 33 playoff points, and I mean that's basically a lock for the championship floor. I think that's 23 more than the next guy, which is Voltage with 10. He's really going to have to mess up to not make the Final Four here.
And also, ooh, the 7, his car, if we're looking at his onboard, his car is not handling very well right now, very loose, entering the corner, so the 7 just going to try to hold on for the rest of the stage and grab some stage points, but right now battling an ill-handling race car, Jerem Keffer in the 7, he's running P4, now we got battle for the lead.
Fluffy to the lead, I'm not sure if he was in the lead, but he's leading right now off of turn 3. This is going to be a 3-car battle for the stage win. I think that they may even be 3 wide coming to the line. I know these guys are all aggressive and they know they can run 3 wide, but will they have the opportunity to?
One thing to note here, how the point system works, or the playoff point system works for all 3 Midnight Broadcast Network series, or all 2 at the moment. You get a playoff point, 1 playoff point for each stage win. And each pole you do get a playoff point per pole. Each win you get, each race win is 3 playoff points. Now, the regular season champion gets 10 playoff points. That is a lot. NASCAR does I think real NASCAR is 15, not mistaken. And do 5 for win, but do 3 and 10. But that's going to be a lot. You said he has a 23 playoff point gap to the next car, correct?
Yes. So
you pretty much put 33, because he has the regular season championship locked up. If he shows up for each race, which is pretty much a guaranteed Fluffy, he's going to show up for each race. So yeah, pretty much already put plus 10 playoff points to that number 16 car, unless he just doesn't show up for the next 2 races. But battle for second place heats up 22 to 20 to Cup regulars.
2 Pro League drivers, top 3 right now, all Pro League. Season 2 coming up soon. Announcements are coming soon, at least.
Yep, they did put out an article a couple days ago on the potential future of the league and of the NASCAR Heat franchise. Let's go check that out. Look, I believe we retweet on our Twitter at @team_MBN. You can go give that a read. It's a great read. As we're coming to 3 to go now, as these 2 drivers. Any of these 2 want playoff points. So I believe if I'm the 20 or the 22, I want to work with the fellow driver to get ahead of the 16. Even though, you really just, you want to get as many points as possible, but when it's a 16 leading, you want to try and get him as least amount of playoff points as possible.
I mean, right now, these 2 are definitely should be teaming up against the 16, even though the 16 and the 22 are Ford manufacturer teammates. I don't think right now they're even thinking about being teammates in this race, as they're basically on the other team right now, as these 2 are trying to get their own self playoff points as well.
20s will take advantage. There's a 22 and the 16 were side by side in turn 2. So now Voltage to the point as we now are coming to 2 to go. And Voltage, who was able to get the stage 1 victory, Chip Swall there, but able to get the stage 1 victory, which gets him another playoff point, but it still evens out with Fluffy, as Fluffy was able to get the pole. So What does that put Fluffy at now? 34 playoff points, correct?
Yeah,
With that
I already
poll?
counted it.
Oh, you already counted it. Okay.
Yeah.
Already counted. So 33. Voltage goes to 13 then? Or 10?
He would be at 11 because the stage win's only 1, right?
Yes, Adrian's only one.
Yeah, because he has 10 right now. So he'd
Look
be
at
at 11.
3 cars bump drafting down the straightaway as Fluffy appears to have the faster car, but is trying everything he can to get around these two. As like I said, these two want to work together to make sure that the 16 does not win this stage.
Oh, 22 gets loose as they're coming the white flag. That may have just secured the stage for the 20 as long as he doesn't make a mistake.
Looks like they didn't lose. Oh, Fluffy way back there actually, and 22 looks like he is out of the 20s draft potentially. Could fuel be a factor? Because Jerem Keffer, his fuel light is on. I do not know if fuel light or fuel could be a factor.
I believe that fuel light just came on, so he should have 2 laps still.
Okay. Yeah, he's not. Looks like he's not even worried about it. So, on the final lap of stage 2, Voltage has a nice lead over the 22 and the 16. 16 trying to get everything he can out of the car, even hits the outside wall. But Voltage, as he enters turn 3, needs every playoff point, whatever you want to say, he can get to try and catch the 16 as they rounds turn 3 down the straightaway. Voltage gets stage 2 and his second stage of the race. And with that, you have Voltage P1 on the stage, getting him to 12 playoff points. Deuce Rothman with 22 brings it 22 home. P2. Fluffy gets P3, P4 for Keffer, and rounding it home in P5 is the number 9 from the back. Once again, I believe that's the second race in a row. No, it's not. Never mind. I forget. It's the second race in a row he qualified top 5, but stage points though, both stages for the 9. He needs it, as does the 22 of Diesel Rothgeb. So our picks right now, Jay, I picked Fluffy, and my sleeper was Goofy, and you picked Will, and your sleeper was Goofy, and they finished that stage 3rd, 5th, and 6th, with Voltage seeming to have the best, I'd say the best handling car overall. Fluffy probably has the fastest, but the best overall handling, long run car, I'd say goes to the 20. What do you think's going to happen in stage 3?
What do I think is going to happen in stage 3? Chaos. I think these 3 cars are really fast. I can see these 3 guys getting into a wreck, like on the last lap of the race, and a caution not coming out right away.
So right there, we're back underway. The biggest thing that happened on pit road was the number 9 from the back gained 2 spots and put himself to P3 as he's in the mix with these guys. Oh, and he gets the apron and gets the 16 as there are 3 wide throughout the pack, and Keffer goes from 5th to 3rd. Fluffy is now in somewhat of the hornet's nest back there. Voltage to P1 and Diesel Rothgeb P2.
See how Fluffy can come back from this, as he's 4th still, well, about to be 5th actually, if he doesn't hold on to the position, which he will. Looks like he will. The top 3 have a little bit of a breakaway. I think that's what these guys are going to try to do, break away from the 16 if they can.
You know, they want to, but he has that draft, and they're somewhat separated as Voltage trying to break the draft of the 22 and the 7.
Alright, that time by 22 to go. So these guys will have to pit at least once. Leave just once. The stage one was 12 laps and they made it without pitting.
Well, the 7 of Keffer gets the outside wall along with the 20 of Voltage. 22 of Diesel goes to P1 and Fluffy to P3 and potentially P2 if he makes the move. And he does. Fits it in there. Almost no room to make the move.
Almost no room. He was 5th like 2-3 laps ago, and now he's up to 3rd with the main pack.
One car on the outside wall. The number 9 from the back, little contact with the 90 of Rough Raven. The one car was able to caught up in it, and those two go back to 7th and 8th. As Brennan moved his way to 6th, and Rough Raven to 5th.
this battle for the lead is gonna get heated up. As there's 4 cars pushing each other, going into turn 1. Surprised no one put it in the wall there. They were going so fast on that front stretch.
Oh, Diesel Rothkip got a great entry. Had to check up a little bit. Gonna hit that wall. Fluffy now third. Voltage makes move to the inside. He's going to go to the lead. Or look to the lead. Fluffy pushes his fellow forward. Manufacturer teammate. Oh, the 16 gives the 20 a little bit of bump there. And they're potentially 3 wide to come off turn 2.
Like I said, these guys will go 3 wide if they can. He tried it right there. He tried pushing the 20 a little bit there and getting underneath him. Just could not find the room. The 20 kind of blocked him a little bit. The 7 into the wall.
Oh, 7 to the wall. 16 scattered. Almost all the way under the checkered flag apron there. And 22.
Here comes the 90 and the... comes the 90 and the 9. Back to this pack here.
The 9, what a ground makeup there, was 7th. I would say about a second or so off the pace, off the pack, not off the pace, excuse me. And he's now back up into somewhat contention. But with the 7 and the 90 battling, that's letting the front 3 get away. As the 9 is going to fall in line behind these 3. It's going to be a 3-on-3 pack with the 1 and the 07 together in the back.
I don't think these front 3 is going to get away from these back 3. At least not from Keffer. 7 has a fast car. Good in the draft. May have been having a handling issue in stage 2. But I think he's fixed it and he's ready to race with these guys now.
Yeah, he also has Jerem teammate behind him from the back in 5th, and Rough Raven in his second start in 6th. Potentially trying to get his wins. Rough Raven actually looks like he's lost the draft of the 9, so potentially could be a 5-car breakaway.
5-car breakaway for this front pack. Can the 9 hold on to these guys this draft? And maybe save a little fuel, maybe last a few more laps than these guys. I mean, he's off the throttle right there. He was going to have a big run. And then if he didn't lift.
22 and 16 were side by side in turn 2. 20 gets somewhat of a breakaway. They will obviously get back to him because of the draft, but Fluffy to second. And Keffer, oh, a little contact with the 22. Those two are going to slow down, and Fluffy is going to break away.
Well, the 20 break away from these guys. I think if they can stay in the draft, they will catch them.
Oh, never mind.
Fluffy's caught them.
They got the 7. They caught back up. 9 car looking to catch up to the 22.
Oh, 9 hit the wall off of 1. That's going to destroy his chances of being at this pack. Unless these guys get up to battling. Which they have been very racy this whole race. Now it being the final stage, the gloves are off. As these guys are really racing for the race win right here.
Yep, Fluffy to the inside of Voltage. For the lead, these two have been going at it all race. 7's even led some, along with the 22, he's led some. These 4 cars have all been up here, and they're trying to go at it in stage 3.
These 4 cars have been the front 4 almost the whole race. Can one of these guys eventually pull off this win? Well, really, my question is, which one of these 4 guys is going to pull off the win? If it continues like this, one of these 4 is definitely going to win the race.
If it continues like they're racing, I was about to say the 9 car might have a chance.
9 car might have a chance. They're side by side. 4 cars just in a square, basically.
And using the apron, the 20, we have not seen him use the apron that much today. But they're 2 by 2 for the top 4. And the 16 able to clear the 20. And now he's looking doing somewhat of a breakaway as the front, their second and third are side by side.
Honestly, I don't think the 20 was, when he was practicing the setup for this race, I don't think he was thinking about using the apron at all. Because he just does not look prepared to run that apron. It looks like he's just flirting with it. Like trying to see what his car will do down there, but it seems like the other 3 have all made cars to run down there, and he's kind of just seeing that now, that you can run there.
20 made the pass once again. We're coming back into turn 2, and these guys, they're getting antsy. 16, 7. Oh, little stack up there. But these four have pulled away from the 9. Unless it's going to be a 4-car battle, unless something happens, maybe one gets the wall and we all get slowed down. But these four still running as Fluffy looking back to the inside of Voltage as we're on board with the filter time cam of Jason Keffer.
They will have to pit here in a few laps, like maybe 3 or 4 laps. They will probably be coming on pit road, as they'll be halfway in this race. Well, in this final stage at least.
7 trying to make a move, but that draft on the outside too much for one car trying to make a move, as Fluffy uses the 3rd lane, as you see, to try and get a run off the corner. Voltage was in the 2nd lane and Keffer's in the 1st lane, and there goes Voltage back to the inside. These two are going at it.
These two are going at it for the stage win, and I don't know if you've noticed, but this 22 is just hanging back and forth. I don't think he's really trying to pass these guys. I think he's trying to save his tires, maybe save a little bit of fuel. Maybe try to take a little bit less fuel when they come down the pit road. Have the car lighter by the end of the race. Well, right now he's looking at the inside of 16, so...
Yep, 22 looks like he's keeping it calm, just trying to keep that position, not miss anything, trying to keep these 4 away from everybody else. 7 looking to the inside of Voltage. P1, that is Keffer once again. See if they can make it stick to the inside. 16 chooses to go high with Voltage. 22 looks low to go with Keffer. And Keffer not clear yet. As you get the black and red cars versus the blue cars. Blue and white cars.
I think it's just interesting that these top 3 have been mixing it up the whole race. And the 22, well, other than the first 2 stages, he was getting racy. But right now, he's just riding in 4th. Kind of letting these guys wear out their tires, be aggressive, warm those tires up. And he's just sitting back here saying, yeah, you guys can race. I'll be running like 1 or 2 more laps longer than you guys and be passing y'all out of the pits.
Yeah, he's just sitting back there chilling, just trying to keep the tires nice and high on the tire percentage, excuse me. As you see, he gets it way down entering turn 1. He gets a good exit off of turn 2 as Keffer looks to the inside of Fluffy, battle for 2nd, and that's what the 20 wants to see, but he's going to give the 16 some draft as he's alternating, trying to keep them both at bay.
This may be where the 22 starts to get a little bit aggressive, because they're coming to 12 to go this time by, so they can make it on fuel if they pit right now. As this final stage was I think 23 lap run, 23 lap stage, so I mean right now is about halfway to finish this thing off.
Nobody looks to be pitting now. These 3, I believe their goal right now is to get back to the 20s bumper, which with the long straightaways at Pocono, and with how the draft works on NASCAR Heat 4, they're going to get back to them almost immediately. And here they go.
Down into turn 1, all single file. The 20 has been caught, and the 7 is just Keffer. He's trying to get really aggressive on this 20. He wants to take that lead when they go into the pits. He wants to be the leader when the pit cycle starts happening.
Instead of Keffer going to use some of that apron, and it slowed him down a little bit. I wonder if he got a little loose on it. But anyway, the 20 of Voltage seems to pull away about half a tenth, but the 7 with the draft is going to regain it.
Just seeing, they have 7 laps of fuel left, so I think when we saw that he was low on fuel, he may not have taken a full tank of gas. That's why he was low on fuel with 14, with 13 laps, and I think they'll be able to. I think they're going to try to make it 2 tires. I think that's what this 22 is doing. He's probably thinking about taking 2 tires here and just taking the lowest amount of fuel he can, because he's saving those left side tires right now.
It would not be a bad strategy for the 20. Keffer makes the pass on the 20, the filter time machine out front. But the 20 is going to keep on his bumper as these 4 are just glued to each other as they enter turn 2.
I think that's what you want the 22 to do, is he just push those cars into the corner and he backs off early.
And making him back to the inside is Voltage, but he has Fluffy pushing him as Diesel's just holding that bay in 4th. And so the 7's going to fall back to 3rd with Voltage back to the lead. And it seems that almost every time the 20 makes a move, the 16 will always follow him, whether it's the preferred line or not. Seems that's who he prefers to push, as you see the 1 has already made his green flag pit stop a lap ago. As he comes back on track, the 9 from the back and the number 90 of Rough Raven have also made their green flag pit stops on this lap. And looks like Brennan has not pit yet.
Does not look like he's pit yet. Trying to figure out where, like, on the track some of these guys are compared to each other.
Oh, the 20 loses it off of turn 2, and he will lose a lot of ground to these guys. I could not tell if he was potentially trying to signal and just lost all handling of it. All 4 of them.
All 4 down pit road. Let's see who the 20.
And he's going to make it on speed. He needed to do that to get back to where he was. But I have to think that he might have just trying to signal and just lost control of it. A nice job by the 20 on that entrance. He still was, remember, he was leading the pack in front of the 17 and 16. But I was able to get back to second, about a 10th off. And your new leader is the 07 of Brennan and was able to lead that lap. Brennan leads his first laps at MBN. And if you go to his onboard, those are some very, very low RPMs. Could Brennan potentially be trying to save some gas?
Could be trying to make this a fuel mileage race, as the front 4. Well, what are the front 4? All come out of the pits around the same time. 22 a little behind. Does not look like anyone's taking a different strategy off each other.
No, the 7 definitely took 4 tires. From his perspective, got a 15.6 pit stop, which is not really what you want. I mean, it's an okay pit stop. You really want a 15.4 and below is what you want. So potentially that's where he lost all of his ground. Voltage, with that amazing pit entry, got him back to the lead, but the 7 and the 22 are now off of the front 2. Brennan, however, still out front. As you see, he is in the middle of 1 and 2, and your leaders are at the start-finish line as Rough Raven front stretch, and number 1 coming to the front stretch, number 9 now on the front stretch. So yeah, he's potentially trying to save his fuel. Get back to Brennan.
I think he's gonna have to save like 6 or 7 laps of fuel to make this. And tires is, I don't even know if tires is a question right now for him to make it that far. But this will be interesting if he can make it and win this race his first start.
As with Brennan doing that, he has 7 to go, and trying to see if you can see the rest of the field. And these guys are now entering turn 3, Brennan in turn 1, so that's a lot of ground he still has on these drivers to try and save this fuel. But yeah, those are some very low. We're going to listen to Brennan's car right here. And then here's Fluffy's. So obviously there is some fuel strategy going on with the number 07 in his first run in Imports National Series start, his first MBN start. These two looks like they're trying to work together. Oh, Voltage hits the wall, slows the 16 up. They keep it going. But it's going to be either a 2-car race between... It's going to be a 2-car race for something, either first or second, depending on what Brennan's strategy is. He's still out front, though, and now brings it to 6 to go.
6 to go, hasn't pitted yet. Is he just trying to make as many laps as he can, hope for a caution? Or is he actually going to try to win this race right now? I think the goal is to try to stay out as long as possible. If he can save that many laps, that would be impressive.
He was potentially trying to start saving from the start, so you never know what the 07 strategy was. I believe his highest running position tonight, other than when he started saving fuel, was 6th out of the 9 who started this race. So for him to come away with anything better than 6 would be a great first race for the 07. As he comes out of turn 3, he will bring it to 5 to go. And no, he will bring his 07 machine down pit road. And you were right, Jay. He was just trying to go as many as possible and hope for a caution. So as the 07 is down pit road, he is able to lead the lap. But here come the front two, Voltage and Fluffy, who will now be battling for the lead, as with 5 to go, 7 and the 22 are out of the equation. So they're going to be the number 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing of Voltage, or the number 16 of Fluffy for Roush Fenway.
I wouldn't say they're fully out of the equation yet. The 20 got in the wall like a few laps ago at a 1. That could happen again, and both these guys can slow down, or a wreck could happen. A caution comes out.
That is true.
Right now, like, if these guys can just keep it green and keep it going, they're out of the equation. But I wouldn't say they're completely out of it right now. As we've seen the 20 put it in the wall before. I mean, right now, 20 just doesn't want no flashbacks of Indy off the last corner. Right now, leading in front of Fluffy.
That is true. Remember, last time the 20 was leading, it was at Indianapolis, and he was leading coming off of turn 4. And I believe he got the apron and hit the outside wall and led to A-Trout getting his second win of the season. And Fluffy was able to bring his machine home second. And, of course, A-Trout has missed a substantial amount of races after his incident on December 27th. So, obviously, everyone here at the Team MBN is missing A-Trout. He's home recovering. But right now, the Toyota team trying to get their first win since then. So obviously, you have to think that their hearts are heavy with A-Trout. Think about him.
This is coming down to 3 to go right here. Arguably the fastest car versus the most consistent car right now for this win.
With 3 to go, I don't know which one you want. Would you rather be very fast or would you rather be very consistent? With 3 to go, I think I'd rather be the fastest.
Rather be the fastest car. The 16 of Fluffy can make the move, but will the 20 make a crossover move back to get back by him? I think Fluffy's gonna wait for the last lap to make a move, to be honest. He's gonna try to, I think he's gonna try some runs right here, see what he can do, but he's gonna save it for the last lap to make a full move.
A little flashback here to the Cup Series Championship race at Pocono last season. Fluffy was in the 3rd position as he took the white flag and was able to win the Cup Series Championship with a last turn bump and run on former teammate BC Racer Kid. Oh, I just got it completely wrong. Excuse me, it was all the way around. Fluffy went into that. I just messed it up. Excuse me. With 2 to go, Voltage still the lead. Fluffy second, and I messed it up. Fluffy was second coming into turn 1 and was leading going into turn 3, and got the bumper by a former teammate BC, and he finished 3rd in the championship standings that year after finishing 3rd that race. So obviously, is that in the back of his mind? Does he want to redeem himself after that?
He wants to redeem himself, definitely, but Voltage had nothing to do with that, what happened last time. So I don't think he's going to end up doing that this race. These two have raced clean with each other. No really big bumps. No really moving each other. As they're coming to the white flag right now.
1 to go, brought to you by Ronin Imports. Can Voltage hold off Fluffy? Or will Fluffy get his, I want to say, 6th win of the season? Do we have a stat on that?
I do not have the stat on that, but
it's his many wins of the season. And off of turn 1, Voltage still has preferred car here. Going to block the inside. Fluffy goes outside. Side by side.
Watch for the crossover.
Yeah, Fluffy's letting off to the crossover, and he gives the bumper to the 20, 16 to the inside. Not going to be able to keep it. Flashbacks for Fluffy. Coming into turn 3. Voltage. Hold him off Fluffy. Looks like he tried to give the bumper. Not going to be able to do it. As they round turn 3, Voltage looking like he'll come out to the final turn and get the win. Unlike what happened at Indianapolis, Voltage P1, P2 Fluffy. Once again coming up short at Pocono. Diesel Rothgate brings his 22 machine home P3. Keffer P4. We will have the number 9 of From the Back in P5. Rough Raven P6. P7 belongs to I'm Goofy. P8 Brennan, and P9 with a DNF. Deadpool with an early disconnect. So Voltage, I believe that's his second win of the season. Not mistaken. That's his third one of the season. He has 2 wins in the season. And Fluffy.
Right now he has 12 playoff points, so add 3 to that, so he's at 15.
At 15, and Fluffy moved up.
Sweeping the stages and the race will enter Voltage. What a big confidence booster for him.
Especially, yes, he was able to almost get everything in tonight's race except for the pole. He qualified, I want to say he qualified 4th. So his qualifying effort was, not too good as you expect from Voltage. Obviously, you want to get pole, top 2, top 3. Qualified 4th, though. The fast lap of the race, Fluffy, with a 53.001. And second place was Voltage with a 53.002. So obviously these guys are bump drafting on that lap, as their fastest lap was nearly 2/10 faster than the rest of the field. And we'll get all those drivers in for post-race interviews. So Voltage.
That was a fast lap. Those are fast laps. I'll say that right now. Gonna get the invites out. Top 3 was Voltage, Fluffy, Diesel.
Yep. So Voltage number 20, Christopher Bell.
Alright, invites are out for the top 3.
Everyone get in here, and while we're in here, so everybody make sure post race, your party settings are set to always allow or allow for this party. And Voltage, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
So many times this season, the number 20 has been out front, and something has kept you from winning. Atlanta hit the apron coming to pit. Indianapolis hit the apron in the wall coming off turn 4, and let fellow Toyota driver H-Route get the win. But tonight, you round the final turn leading, and you finally get to keep it. How's this win feel?
I don't recall such events that past, but no, it was a good race, man. Honestly, I was surprised how good the car was. I mean, coming into the race, I was a little nervous, but yeah, man. Like I said, was able to make the moves and stay out front when I had to. I almost threw it away there at the coming to pit road, though. I don't know if you've seen that, but pit road killed it. I made up 2 spots on entry there, and ended up getting the lead off, and then was able to keep it.
We did notice that. Was that you went to signal? We thought it was, or at least I thought it was, you went to signal to pit and lost control. Was it that, or did you just get loose off turn 2?
No, I was running the apron there, and I just stayed on it a little too long, and the car was pretty much completely sideways on exit. I thought the race was over. I was just staring at the inside wall, and then, just drove real hard on entry to pits, past those guys. But, had a really good stop, honestly. I mean, I still came out of Fluffy, which I think really helped at the end there.
Yep. And what does this win do for you? Because you're able to get everything but the pole. So almost got max. You got max points, not max playoff points. But what does this win and overall day do for you going into the final 2 races of the regular season?
It's good, man. I think we're setting ourselves up for a chance potentially at the championship here. But hopefully we can really keep the momentum going in the Cup Series. That's where we really need the help. We got to make the playoffs over there. So hopefully we can carry it into tomorrow and get in the playoffs.
Yep, 13th in the Cup Series point standings, I believe. 14th, excuse me, so still searching for that. But fellow drivers in the top 5 also searching to get in the playoffs. Fluffy, I believe he's 3rd in the standings. Rothgeb is 9th, and Keffer is 12th. So those 3 of 4, trying to get in the playoffs. But Jay, do you have any questions for our race winner?
Not really a question, just a thought about what you think. If you can make the Final 4 for the Cup Series race at Pocono, does this put any confidence in that race if you can get there?
It does, man. Like I said, this is twice now we've been here, and I've got a win so far. It's the hometown track, so that's always good, too, to get in victory lane. But it's going to be a struggle. Like I said, we got a big uphill fight to get to that point. But we just got to make it to the playoff first, and we'll see what happens.
as the Cup Series playoffs, as experience. It's win and in, and you're on to the next round. So anything can happen if you can just make the top 10 for any side, top 8 for this, top 10 for Cup. But Voltage, thank you for your time. That was Voltage 20, driver number 20 in the Red Imports National Series. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the win. And now we move to P2 Fluffy.
What's going on, guys?
Fluffy, when we were coming around to the final laps, we said it was the most consistent car versus the fastest car. And it looked to us that you had the fastest machine out there tonight. We were able to get the pole that obviously showed, got the pole by almost 2/10 compared to the second place car. Tell us about your race, man.
It was pretty good, man. Car felt loose. Second stage there. I was trying to figure out how to kind of counteract the car from the rear end, kind of getting a little bit free in the long run there. And we kind of just, fixed that on pit road. Did everything we could to the car to make it just be consistent and more tighter on the long runs. And we did just that and stayed up and tried to compete for the win, but just didn't get there. I was going to try to go on the inside of him going through the tunnel turn, but I didn't want to do that, man. I didn't want to push him up into the wall or something. So I just kind of, stayed behind him and I tried to give him a bumper going into 4, but it was just risky at that point because, we're, burning these tires off, so I, didn't want to get into them. So, nothing wrong with second. We did really good tonight, second, third, and second, and we did really good in points tonight. And car felt just fantastic. Just came up short tonight.
With that, Fluffy, we already pretty much guaranteed you have won the regular season championship. If you show up for each race, I believe even if you start in park, you still have the regular season championship. So add 10 playoff points to your name. I believe that puts you at 43, Jay, we said?
Yes, I'll be 43.
43, that's not counting if you get any playoff points these next 2 races at Darlington and... I don't know the final races. Darlington and the regular season finale. What are your thoughts on that, man? Really, you can go through the playoffs almost effortless and make it to the Final Four with such a big points gap on everybody else. What's your intent going on these next 2 races? Are you just going to try and keep it calm and just keep, because you already know you got the race regular season locked up, or are you just going to try to go for as many playoff points as possible and try to rack them up?
Man, honestly, probably just going to kind of chill, calm it down a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to try to, win every single race and try to get every single stage point that I can. I've already got, like you said, a remarkable amount of points. So, I mean, these last 2 to 3 races, man, it's just going to take us just being consistent and trying to stay out of trouble and get the car where it needs to be and just, either be in victory lane again or, another top 3, maybe second. Just consistent, man. That's all it's going to take, and hopefully that'll get us into the playoffs and into the Final Four and hopefully a championship. So,
Jay, do you have any... Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So it's just all going to be on consistency for the rest of the season, man.
10-4, man. Jay, do you have any questions for our second place finisher?
No, not tonight.
Not tonight for Jay. He's staying very quiet for post-race interviews. But Fluffy, thank you for your time. Congrats on the P2 finish. That was Fluffy. Driver number 16 in the Road Imports National Series. And driver number 17 in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. That leaves us with one car left, one driver, and that is Diesel Rothgeb, driver number 22 in both series, Cup and National Series. But Corey, or Diesel, excuse me. Overall consistent race. Looks like the pit stop hurt you at the very end. We're in that 4-car pack, and looks like that pit stop, you came in right behind Kepler's bumper, and the pit stop just killed you. Tell us about race, man.
Yeah. Well, first half of the race, just wanted to see what the car would do long run. I didn't get much time to work on this thing, so I hadn't ran more than 3 or 4 laps in the practices, so had to see what the tire wear would do and how the handling would be on the end. So I started off, I got really loose at the end of the run, killing the right rear. So I had to make some big swings at that. Into stage 1, I made a big swing, and then I did just pretty much the same exact adjustment, just doubled at the end of stage 2. So had the car pretty good. I think I lacked some straightaway speed compared to Bags and Fluffy, so they were killing me there. But throughout the entire race, I noticed through the turns I was able to really get the car slowed up faster and get huge runs on exit, make up a lot of ground, especially in turn 3, coming off onto the front stretch. So just trying to put myself in a position to be able to make a move there at the end, because I knew I could get a run in turn 3 if I could be in second place or something like that. But had some good racing going on with us 4 up there, and then all of a sudden we all come into the pits. Bags gained 2 positions, but for the most part we were all pretty close together going in. And then I think they had a 15 flat. I ended up having a 16-4 stop, and coming out just never had the draft, and so was running by ourselves the entire time. Was able to run Keffer back down because he was by himself as well. His handling went away a little bit. So got P3, but really wish those stops wouldn't have affected it, because I think we'd have had a good 4-car battle instead of a 2-car race.
Yeah, Keffer on his onboard had a 15.6 pit stop, which took himself out of contention. Nothing he was doing, obviously. But that able to come back P3. The 8th place car of Trey not be able to run tonight, so it puts you into the playoff mix. What are your thoughts going to these next 2 races?
I mean, I don't know, just be consistent. I don't know, not really going for wins right at the moment, more or less just trying to have good finishes and finish in the top 5. Especially, we got guys that can't make it and stuff. So able to make up some points just by default. So the better finish you can get in the stages and everything else like that, more points you can make up. So just trying to be consistent and finish up there in the top 5.
Sure, man. Jay, you got any questions for our 3rd place finisher?
Diesel, before you guys pitted, were you trying to conserve at all? I mean, it looked like you were just riding around in 4th and just trying to stay there. It looks like you weren't trying to make any passes, really. Were you just trying to save and see what you could do at the end of the race?
Yeah, so those guys were racing it pretty hard, being aggressive. Again, like I said, through the turns I had a whole lot better handling. I couldn't really do anything down the straightaways though. So I could get a run on them on the turns, but a lot of times, like going into 1, I could get to the bottom real good and get back to the gas way before they could. But there was really no benefit, because you can get to the inside, but then everybody's on the outside with the draft and you fall right back. So just decided to kind of ride there and kind of hope that we didn't have a bad pit stop and that we would come back out in that position and then use those last 8 laps to try to make those moves instead of risking something in that first run. Just didn't want to mess up and then take myself out of it. Had a speeding penalty in the previous race that took myself out of it when I was in the top 4, top 5. So didn't want to do that again. So I was just going to try to ride there, then make a move after the pit stops. But unfortunately, 1.4 seconds in the pits really kills you.
That it does. Any time in the pits can kill you, especially when the draft is around 6/10. That's when you start losing the draft. So even if you came in 0.4 behind Fluffy, or 0.3, a 4/10 time loss on pit road will still kill you. But thank you for your time, Diesel. This is Diesel Rothgeb, driver number 22 in the Road Imports National Series and the Pocono Race Pickup Series in his P3, and now moves himself to the top 8 in the standings.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And with that will close the broadcast out, Jay. Nobody got it right on the picks. My pick finished 2nd. Your pick finished 5th. I want to say that's where Will finished.
Yeah, 5th.
And both of our sleepers got 6th. If that's also correct,
7th.
I believe. 7th, excuse me. Go back to Bill. What was your overall thoughts on tonight's race, though, Jay?
Honestly, there was 4 cars, which were the class of the field, and the rest kind of struggled. I mean, it was a 4-car race, really, for the win, for the stages as well. I think it was great racing between those 4. I think this just shows how the Cup race here could play out as well. If you have a very fast car, you have a chance at winning this race. You just gotta be able to stay up in the draft.
Yeah, 4 cars, definitely the dominant ones. Those guys are Cup regulars who do run Xfinity as well. It's not surprised they're the top 4. The number 9 car from the back seemed to have some speed, capable of possibly running up there. Just had some issues, wasn't handling wise, but it was nice to see Rough Raven also get into the top 5. Some of that. Brandon first start, led some laps. Deadpool started P2, had his disconnect, which is unfortunate to see. He was running P6 at the time. But, yeah, that was overall a good race. I believe we had 1 caution, which was, I think I said 2, you said 3. So there was 1. It was the end of stage 1, 3 to go in stage 1. Almost between the 1 and the 22. But with that, that'll do it from the broadcast here. Slade84 and Jay Hyper. Congrats to Voltage on his 3rd win of the season once again, and Fluffy for locking up the regular season championship. We'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. We will be at the Darlington Raceway for Throwback Night. As we hope you guys enjoy that. Until then, we'll see you guys next week at Darlington for the Xfinity Series. Once again, Slade G84 and Jay Hyper. I want to thank our sponsors, Ronin Imports and Spoonwood Collective, with support of Pocono Raceway. Until next time, guys, catch you later.